Joining us now with more, human rights attorney and author of Lawfare, The War Against Free Speech, Brooke Goldstein, and independent political analyst and former Bernie Sanders campaign staffer, Teslin Figaro. Great to see you both. Wow, a lot to unpack in that report. Let me start with you, Brooke, on why the Democrats would even be considering someone that controversial.
Especially amid all the hoopla where they're accusing Bannon of being racist and anti-Semitic, and, you know, what do they use as proof? Some allegations by an ex-wife in divorce documents, and yet they failed to look at the very clear connections of Keith Ellison to radical Islamist groups, to anti-Semitism. I mean, it's boggling why they would want to move to the hard left. And the intro, you know, only touched the surface of it. I mean, we're talking about a man who sponsored a panel when he was in law school calling Zionism the same thing as white supremacy. Jewish students asked him to cancel that. He refused. He has spoken at numerous Council on American Islamic Relations conferences. This is a group that has ties to Hamas, a designated terrorist group. He's spoken 3 times for the Islamic Society of North America. At the conference in 2008, they were handing out materials calling America a terrorist organization and calling for the destruction of Israel and the United States.
And he was speaking there?
He was speaking at that conference. That was the 3rd time he spoke at that conference.
Teslin, is this not a problem?
Well, you know, I appreciate her insight, but what I would say is that the ties are not as clear as she would suggest. You know, let's not forget that Senator Bernie Sanders, who, in case counsel has forgot, is in fact Jewish, was the one that actually nominated the congressman to be the possible DNC chair. Secondly, the DNC will decide if this is someone that they want to actually have represent them. And yes, they're going to the far left, just as the Republican Party is going to the far right, or what we call alt-right. What I think everyone needs to do is calm down, go in the corner, get a timeout, take a glass of water like Mark Rubio, and basically just take a step back and understand that Bannon is going to the White House, regardless if people agree with it or not, and Congressman Ellison will have the opportunity to serve the DNC if they choose to elect him.
So, I think that, like, when you're at the meeting, when they're handing out the terrorist literature, you should say, like, I'm just going to... like that,
well,
I don't know. Should he be elevated to the head of the party?
The KKK who endorsed Donald Trump. It doesn't mean that Donald Trump is a part of the KKK.
Trump didn't show up at a KKK meeting and take a look at the literature.
So just because someone has a connection with someone that possibly has a connection with an extreme group doesn't mean they should
let Brooke jump in.
Keith Ellison has been very vocal in his support for the Nation of Islam for over a decade. It only was when he ran for office in 1998 that he came out against the Nation of Islam, claiming he didn't realize they're anti-Semitic. He was a supporter of a woman who said that Jews are the most racist people we know. He's gone on record supporting the Council on American Islamic Relations and Niwad Ahwad, who fundraised for him, who is a founder of the Council on American Islamic Relations.
So there's a long list of controversial
things. What Ellison did with the Nation of Islam is support the Million Man March. He's also
did a lot more than that.
Let her finish.
No, he spoke against Farrakhan and his anti-Semitic comments with people still believe that are not anti-Semitic. And again, I say again, is Senator Bernie Sanders not Jewish? Is he not the one that said that he would be the best one to represent the party? Basically, the DNC, Megan, is in complete disarray. They need to come back to the Democrat, to the Bernie Sanders supporters and surrogates to try to get them involved in the party. They need to fix it because they clearly got whooped all across the country, and so they're trying to do what they need to do to get it together, and it's not going to come by with someone who has a central attitude.
Oh, interesting. Fascinating. Nicely done. Good to see you both. Thank you, Teslin. Thanks, Brooke.